It's check-in day for Everglades Challenge 2022. Seems like it's a hot one. Above average temperatures predicted. It was cold in Michigan, so we didn't get our shakedown paddle locally as we usually do. But the forecast for tomorrow is east wind at like 15 to 17 knots or something like that. So we're hopeful for a regular Plan A start. Might be some headwinds along the way, kind of east and south winds predicted. So we'll see how that pans out. Well, here's the new innovation for this year. I made a carbon fiber replacement boom in place of the aluminum tube to allow for the center boom sheeting here, which allows me to paddle in here without interference from the sheet. So hopefully that'll work out. It's kind of hard to tell how strong it needs to be. It's got a lot of layers, but in the vacuum bag it turned out a little more bumpy and wrinkly than I would have hoped. But we'll see how she holds up, and we also have the original boom stowed down below, so if we have to switch that out, we can. This is the start, Everglades Challenge 2022. Well, it's 8:20. We made it across Tampa Bay. We got a good soaking. We were able to sail, but the wind was slightly on the nose, so there was a lot of splashing. But we averaged like 4 to 5 miles an hour. So we're off to a good start. Have to decide whether we want to go outside at the north end of Sarasota Bay. Might be better paddling in the lee of the land. We're coming out of the pass at the north end of Sarasota Bay. We're hoping we'll get a little shelter from the land and can paddle along the coast. There's a big current coming into the pass. We ferried across, but it was quite a strong current. It's pretty out here. Saw some dolphins coming out, and hopefully won't be too bad going down the beach. It's noon on Saturday. We're pulling into a little bit of a headwind on the outside of Sarasota Bay. We got sunbathers on the port side and the Gulf on the starboard side. We can see a few sails out there and some Hobies way offshore. We decided to go outside here hoping we'd get in the lee of the land a little bit. Feels like it's right on the nose, so not sure, but I think it's probably helping a little bit. So we're getting along okay. Seems like the wind eased up here a little bit in the past hour or so. It's 2:30 on Saturday. We decided to come in here at New Pass at the south end of Sarasota Bay. We were slogging into a headwind since 10 in the morning. Maybe it was better than the bay, I don't know. Little change of scenery. We got to paddle down the beach. Nice clear water. Got to see the hotels. It's 5 p.m. We're just south of Bay Island. We stopped there for a little break. The little rings were sticking on the mast, and the one at the top was sticking. These ones down below are stuck before, but I can knock them loose with the paddle, but I can't touch that one way up top with the paddle, so that was the problem. We ended up lubing it with some sunscreen. I also tied it on a little bit differently at the top. And we finally got a little sailing breeze. We've been paddling into the headwind all afternoon, well, since 10 a.m., so it's been a while. Getting kind of tired. And there's a ton of traffic in this channel, but it's getting to be 5 o'clock, so they ought to head off to their cocktail hours and leave it to us out here on the water. 6:30 p.m. It's sunset on Saturday. We're just coming into the north end of Little Sarasota Bay. Definitely behind schedule compared to previous years. Pretty good slog into some headwinds today. Maybe we should have backed up the sailing gear after we were done with Tampa Bay, but we didn't. It's kind of hard to give up hope that maybe there might be some sailing, but so at some point you just gotta give up. But we're hopeful that the wind's gonna die down some in the evening, and who knows, maybe there'll be some sailing.
We're somewhere north of Venice Inlet, and I wanted to send a voice message. We're pulled off for a little bit to make dinner. Things went a lot slower today than we had hoped. We spent a long time slogging into the wind. We had an okay sail across Tampa Bay, but then headwinds after that, and some complications with the sail, which I think we've worked out. But all in all, it's been a slow, arduous day. We are expecting similar weather tomorrow, so our plan is to enjoy some night paddling without the heat of the day and get to checkpoint 1 as soon as we can. I think we'll make the cutoff time, which is 6 p.m. tomorrow. So we're still having fun. We're tired, but the night really is nice time to paddle, so we're enjoying that. There's a lot of nighttime noises with the herons and all the fishes jumping, so that's pretty fun. Okay, bye-bye.
It's 12:30 a.m. I guess that makes it Sunday. We're coming into the north end of Lemon Bay in the Venice Canal. We passed the Wisconsinites in the Core Sound 17 and the Sea Pearl. They were in good spirits, becalmed in the Venice Canal. And we can see Alex O just ahead. He's been kind of with us for, well, since the south end of Sarasota Bay. He's got kind of a orange stern light and a green light. So I can see him up there right now. So it's totally calm now, which is good. We're able to paddle. Sailing would be nice, but the next best thing is no wind, better than a headwind. And we're gonna press on to checkpoint 1. We've got, I don't know, I'm gonna guess 12 miles to go, something like that. It's 1:15 in the morning on Lemon Bay. We had a nice chat with Alex, so he's getting sleepy, and well, not terribly sleepy yet, but we had a little good luck here. There's just a slight breeze, but it's on the beam, so we're able to sail some now. Not super fast, but it's nice to have a break. And then we're also getting some phosphorescence in the water, which is fun to watch. There's little green glowing balls that'll come by from Lauren's paddle. So we're working our way south in the old ICW. It's 10 minutes to 4 Sunday morning, and we're a mile and a half from checkpoint 1. We're both getting pretty loopy, kind of tired. We went through all the songs we knew and all the poems, which weren't really that many. Ran out of things to do, but we're still a mile and a half from the checkpoint. So we got a rally. Are you ready to rally, Lauren? Yes. So that's what we're gonna do now. Rally. "7 a.m. on Sunday." That's the 24-hour mark that we've been paddling. We didn't stop last night. We wanted to get to checkpoint 1, ideally before daylight, which we did, just barely, I guess, because we decided to go on to this dog island over here as a possible camp, and it was light by the time we got there. It didn't look like a great camp, and it looks like we can sail to Hogan Key, so we're gonna do that down there, and then get some sleep. So we're looking forward to getting some sleep. I guess this is what happens when you arrive at 8 a.m. But we got Hogan Key all to ourselves. It's not even trash here like there was in other years. This is gonna be a nice place to get some sleep.
So Mark, how you feeling today?
You see that?
That comes down.
It comes down and it goes up.
Nice work. Mark made a little affix to the rings that attach the sail to the halyard, or to the mast. which was jamming yesterday and causing all kinds of slowdowns and anxiety and frustration. But we got a little sleep. What we failed to factor into account with our plan of paddling during the cool of the night was that that would mean sleeping during the heat of the day. So we woke up extremely hot. The sun was blaring on our tent, and we just got up and started getting ready. But yeah, we're moving slow, but we figure we have until Wednesday to get to Chokolowski, and we're still having fun. We're just hot. Anything else to add, Mark?
Very hot.
Very hot, yeah. Okay, so we started heading east on Charlotte Harbor, and we're pulled up behind a mangrove to take the sail rig, the whole everything, and pack it in. We have got east or southeast wind forecast for the rest of the day, and no matter how you slice it, we figure it's a headwind. So
Trying to learn our lesson from yesterday.
So we're learning our lesson from yesterday and packing it in to make the paddling easier. Paddle smarter, not harder. Well, we'll probably paddle harder too. Because like Beav says, paddle harder. And we're taking this opportunity to enjoy the shade and go for a little wade.
4:12 p.m. on Sunday. I see two cat-to-catch sailboats over there working their way into the wind. That must be the Wisconsinites. Well, it's 5:30 p.m. on Sunday. We're about halfway across our Charlotte Harbor crossing. It was about it's like about an 8-mile crossing from, well, we started out at Hogan Key over here, and then it's basically like 8 miles over to there. So pretty big open water. Our plan worked in the sense that this morning it was like 15 knots from the southeast, which is a headwind, and we waited till the afternoon. We slept until it was supposed to decrease to 5 to 10, so still a headwind, but manageable, although, you know, a little bit of chop on the light headwind still slows us down, so it's a slow one. But once we get across this, you know, that'll be a significant milestone to get east over the land. That can be a barrier at times when there's a strong east wind. So we'll see what happens. It's 9 p.m. on Sunday. We decided to camp at this nice little spot on Bukilia in the northeast corner of Pine Island. We were having a hard time getting around the corner. We were hoping that southeast wind was going to lighten up, which it was at first, but then it started building. And then after dark, the conditions were a bit much. Paddling at night is great because you often have good conditions, but when the conditions aren't good, then paddling at night is not so great. So anyway, and we were both pretty beat from our 24-hour run yesterday, so decided to just get a good sleep here, eat a meal, and try it again in the morning.
Hello, it's 9:30 on, what day is this? Sunday night. And we got up at 2, all sweaty from baking in the hot tent, and then we packed up and we paddled. We packed everything into the canoe and paddled made it to Bukilia, which is just on the south end of Pine Island Sound. Charlotte Harbor, yeah, south end of Charlotte Harbor, north end of Pine Island Sound. And we were just beating into really strong headwinds, and the waves were really pretty choppy, so we decided it would be best to pitch the tent again, and we really still need more rest, so I think it was a good decision. So we're gonna go to bed, get up, and kind of reboot tomorrow morning and get where we can. We've got south winds expected today, pretty strong, which I don't know, we'll see how that goes.
6:30 on Monday, we got up here from our camp at Bukilia. We had a great sleep. We decided, well, actually we got kind of like demoralized looking at the forecast last night on the Windy app, which had like south wind and gusts in the 20s for like every day in the forecast, and we have to go south, so that's not really encouraging. But right now it looks not terrible, so maybe we'll try to push past Matlacha and to Picnic Key or some before the south wind in the 20s kicks up. Or maybe we'll get lucky and that forecast won't be right. You never know. So I guess we're ready to roll. What do you think, Lauren?
Ready to roll.
Ready. It's 8:30 on Monday. We're just coming through Matlacha. There's the bridge. We had a pretty nice paddle from like 6:30 to 8:30. Now the wind's picking up from the south as predicted. A couple of sunken boats out there. Seems like a hard place on boats around here. And there's a couple of ospreys nesting on top of that boat there, just a little strange with a net over the whole thing. But in any case, I guess we'll pull into this headwind for a while. Maybe we'll make it to Picnic Key. Maybe take a break there. The afternoon winds are supposed to be kind of strong from the south headwind, so we'll see how it goes. Another one on the shoal. We've probably seen 6 wrecked boats on the way so far. It's a tough place on boats with the high winds and the shoals. Making our way south of Matlacha here. Gets into some meandering channel through oyster bars down in this section. But at least there's a little bit of shelter from the wind. Well, another bright side of having a headwind, aside from cooling you off, as Alex was saying, is that you can stop by nice little places, like this mangrove island. It's noon on Monday. We're approaching the Sanibel Causeway area. The dreaded south headwind so far has not materialized, so knock on wood, hopefully it won't. There's a nice cruising sailboat over there. We're making progress today. Maybe the windy app forecast was a little off. The National Weather Service text forecast didn't say much about a strong south wind, so hopefully they were right. But we'll see. Well, it's 1 o'clock on Monday. We just made it under the Sanibel Causeway. So that was a significant milestone. Fortunately, the south wind has held off somewhat for us. So there's a little breeze picking up now. But it was pretty calm as we were going through that area. Little current and choppy wakes coming under the bridge. But that's a major milestone. That's encouraging. If we can get into the inside route to Wiggins behind Fort Myers Beach there, then should be able to make it to Wiggins. It's like there's a little breeze right now that we could probably sail on, but it wasn't in the forecast. That makes me suspicious that it's a temporary phenomenon. And the south wind was in the forecast, so if we went outside, that'd be a gamble that the south wind would pick up then. I don't trust it. But anyway, we're making progress today, so that's encouraging. Well, it's 2 p.m. Monday. We were thinking about taking the inside route to Wiggins because there was a forecast of a south wind. But it's been quite calm this afternoon, and we thought that if it hasn't happened yet, maybe it won't happen because it was supposed to be calm tonight too. So we thought maybe we would roll the dice and go outside here to Wiggins. It's a little bit shorter. It's 4:30 on Monday, and we just came in to Lover's Key Pass. We started out on the outside to go to Wiggins Pass, but that south wind, it did start to pick up a little bit, which was a headwind, and it wasn't too bad, but the waves were slowing us down a little, and then it was going to get dark before we got to Wiggins Pass. So we thought we'd just come in and do the inside route, take the safe bet. A couple of dolphins there by the bridge. Couple hours of daylight left, and we're feeling pretty excited. That looks like we'll probably make Wiggins, so it's good to, you know, have a win after yesterday was a little disappointing, but you know, today seems better. It's 6:18 on Monday. The sun's going down. We're working our way to Wiggins. Probably got, I don't know, 5 or 6 miles to go. Got a little bit of south wind. It's not too bad. Pretty calm in here. Little tidal current running against us right now, but hopefully that'll reverse by the time we get to the pass. Any updates from the bow, Lauren?
No.
Nothing new from the bow. Same old, same old. Just getting her done. It's 7 p.m. on Monday. We had a lucky break here. We just scored some water. Since we were out an extra day between checkpoint 1 and 2, we were running low on water. And we passed through a little populated area here on the way out to Wiggins Pass. And there was a boat club with a dock with a blue hose, and we were like, blue hose? That's got to be water. But of course they had it shut off. But then across the way there was a research station from Florida Gulf Coast University, and there were some people looking out a window at us. And so we were like, hey, do you have some water? And they came down and gave us their hose. So we got all filled up on water. So we're good to go, even if it takes us until Wednesday to get to checkpoint 2. So we're in a good mood now.
Yay for scientists.
Yay for scientists.
They were working late.
Yeah, scientists.
Those university people, you can count on them being in the office late.
That blinking orange light is a pile of dredge pipes in the middle of the pass going out there, and there's a pretty good current running out. The pipes run all the way along here. Seems like they should put a bigger signal on those things or something, because that's a little bit hazardous. It's 8 p.m. Monday. We just arrived at Wiggins Pass. We had a little surprise on the approach to the pass because there was a bunch of dredge pipes moored in the middle of the pass, and there was pretty strong current, so we were fortunate to avoid it. They had one little orange flasher on it out there. I don't know if you can see the lights, but there's a working dredge out there in the pass, and little flashing orange lights, which I suppose are indicating the pipes. So hopefully we can get out of the pass and figure out what's going on out there when the time comes. So we're going to get a sleep here and review the forecast. Today was a good day. We made our goal of getting here, and it's only 8 p.m. so we'll get a good rest and probably get up for some early morning paddling too.
Well, it's Monday night. It's about 9:15, and we're just tucking in to our tent at Wiggins Pass. It was a pretty good day. This was a good milestone, and nice to have a win to get to Wiggins. We had some hot paddling the whole way, just no sail at all, but the winds really didn't get as bad as we anticipated, and we were able to take an inside route. It's just been a slog, but today was a lot better than the past 2 days. Really, we're in good shape. All right, thanks. Bye-bye. It's morning. I don't know what time. We woke up at 4 and we're just about to leave. And Mark, what are you doing?
Blowing up the airbags.
Blowing up the airbags. The other thing to notice is that we put our sailing rig together. So we're expecting hopefully a light east wind for the remainder of the morning before it turns, I think, southeast. So hoping we can at least sail to Big Marco Pass. We'll see. That's a long ways. So anyway, we're optimistic.
This is the dredge at Wiggins Pass. Well, this is the Naples coast. It's about 4 a.m. on Tuesday. The forecast promised us a 10-knot east wind coming off the land, so we set up the sail, and we're excited to be sailing for once, which is much better than a headwind. So that's the Naples coast there, long and straight, going straight south. There we go. Having a little coffee, snack bag. We can keep it moving pretty good with just one person paddling. So this is a welcome development on Sunday evening when we ran into that terrible headwind at sunset on Charlotte Harbor and decided to camp at Bukilia after just paddling for, must have been 5 hours or so, I guess. And I looked at that windy forecast and I was pretty discouraged and thought about dropping out, or that we might not finish, but maybe we'll make it. It's 7:30 in the morning on Tuesday. We're just passing Gordon Pass, going down the Naples coast toward Big Marco Island. Set our alarms for 2 and hit the water around 3:30 because there was a predicted east wind after midnight, which panned out. We were able to sail, although it's pretty light wind, so we've been paddling the whole time, but it still helps. We just had a big wake come over the bow and dump a few gallons of water into the boat. That's kind of unusual. Takes a especially big and steep wave to do that, but a bunch of boats came out of the pass and all the wakes added up. So that was our most recent excitement. We can just start to see the buildings on Big Marco Island down there. So we're making progress.
Well, we had a good morning sail. We woke up at 2 and left for Big Marco Island. We're about 6 miles. From there. It's 8:47 a.m. now, and wind just turned south. So now we're just paddling along the shore, enjoying the beach of Kuwaiten Island. I guess it is, or is it an island? Yeah, Kuwaiten Island. And it's really pretty. There's some wading birds. But I think we're just planning on paddling for the rest of the day.
It's 10:30 on Tuesday. We're slogging into the wind here, trying to make it to Big Marco Pass. We decided to try tacking a little bit just to see what we could get out of it. Can make progress. I don't know if you can see that, but we can make some progress into the wind. It's probably like 1.5 miles an hour VMG, so you know it's still probably faster to paddle. So we're thinking of land and pack up the rig and just start pulling again. Pretty spot here. 11 a.m. Tuesday. We decided to give up on the sailing because we can probably do better paddling, and probably going to be a headwind probably all day, so I guess we just packed up the rig to carry on, pulling into the headwind. Kind of pretty spot here. Headwinds in the future. Could probably camp here in a pinch. This is this little pass just north of Big Marco. Windy and rough coming in through Big Marco under the bridge there, but we had a little current helping us, so that was better than it seemed from first appearances. Try the inside route rather than going out on Gullivan Bay. It looks pretty nasty out there. Plotted this inside route. I think some other people have done it. We haven't done it, so we'll see how it goes. We saw a huge pack of dolphins just a few minutes ago. They came right by the boat within a few feet. Must have been 6 of them. It's pretty cool. Ton of dolphins. Maybe they like this muddy water. One nice thing about going the inside route is breaks in the shade. It's extremely hot. Gets hotter than normal here. Six p.m. on Tuesday. We decided to land here to camp at Panther Key. This is along the inside route. And then the idea is we had to get up in the morning to catch the early morning incoming tide to go into Chokoloskee and the checkpoint. Because if we're going to keep going through the Everglades, then we want to have a good night's sleep starting out. So we should be able to get a good sleep here. And looking forward to having dinner at dinner time. So that's all for now.
Hello from Panther Key. It's about 7:30 on Tuesday night, and we are tucked in our tent on Panther Key, which brings back memories of boot camp with Bob and Jan Bradford, which is nice. Today started out with a great sail for about 14 miles along the Naples coast, and then, just as was foretold, around about 9:30 or 10, we got strong southeast winds, And so that's about when we packed everything in and started to paddle hard, and we kept paddling, and here we are on Panther Key.
It's 3:30 a.m. Wednesday on Panther Key. We are getting her packed up and ready to launch. We decided we're gonna do the Gator Tooth route through the Everglades, partly because that's what we've always done, partly because there'd be a terrible headwind paddling down the Gulf, and also more teeth for your money. So we're gonna try to paddle up Fakahatchee Pass and hopefully catch the incoming tide, arrive at checkpoint around high tide to avoid the mud, in and out into the Everglades, skip the park office, sleep in the boat, arrive at the Nightmare around 8 or 9 a.m. tomorrow for the tide, hopefully, and then try to make it to Flamingo. Forecast for Florida Bay seemed like not great but not terrible, so maybe we can get across that when we get there. Maybe we could finish on Friday if all goes well. So that's the second half of this in a nutshell. Hopefully it'll work out. It's 4:30 on Wednesday. We just came around the point of Panther Key, which was pretty exciting. Had to go out around the point to get into Fakahatchee Pass, and we were paddling into a headwind on the Gulf there, Gullivan Bay. They're pretty big waves, and we had to go way out around a shoal to stay out of the breaking waves, and it was really dark. There's no moon out, some clouds, so it was pretty exciting, but thankfully we're coming into Fakahatchee Pass now, hopefully catching the incoming tide, and hopefully we won't have to deal with paddling into headwinds on open water again until maybe Florida Bay, but hopefully not. So yeah, at least in the Everglades you can kind of work your way from sheltered point to sheltered point, paddling into the headwinds, and it's not as scary as paddling into a headwind on open water at night, which is not my favorite thing. But looks like we're in a good position now. 6:30 a.m. on Wednesday. We're coming into Chokoloskee Bay. We had a nice current running in through Fakahatchee Pass, so that was good. And we know it's going to be a headwind down Chokoloskee Bay. We got another 6 miles or so on the bay, and it'll open up a bit. But it seems like the headwind's not totally terrible, so I guess that's the best we can hope for, and the headwind is not totally terrible. So we're making progress toward the checkpoint. I guess we'll make it there by the original deadline, and I guess from there we'll have like about 24 hours to make it to the Nightmare entrance to try to catch the tide there. almost noon today on Wednesday. We're just coming to the end of the Lopez River, coming into the inner bays of the Everglades. It's really hot today. I think it's unusually hot for the past years we've done this. Usually I would have put my rain gear on during the night or something, but now it's just so hot. And during the day it's really hot. So we're taking a little shade break here. It's nice to be in the mangroves and not be out fighting wind and waves on the open water. Paddling through the Everglades is nice. I think it's the nicest part of the trip. It's 3:40 on Wednesday. We're working our way down the Wilderness Waterway, one bay at a time. Most of them are into the wind. This next one here looks a little hairy. We got white gaps and stuff. That's pretty typical. Piped up quite a bit in the afternoon. So this is what we're working with. Guess I better help Lauren. So here's the funny thing. See all those clouds over there? Well, it's a really hot day, so it'd be great to have some shade. But notice how over on this side of the sky, where the sun is, see that? No clouds. We haven't had a cloud shadow all day. But all those clouds have been just sitting right there. And how do they even just sit there when it's so windy? Who can know these things? What do you think, Lauren?
I don't know why they're ignoring.
Yeah, Lauren's pleading with them to come over, but they won't.
That one.
Yeah, that one. So just move a little bit. Tarpon Creek. We're stopping in at Fleet Creek Chickie here just to use the facilities. Sunset on Wednesday. We're making slow progress today because of the headwinds, not the same pace we've had in the past years. It seems like it's laying down a bit now in the evening, so maybe we can make a few miles yet before we anchor out to sleep in the boat, because we didn't reserve a chickie. But it's pretty out. In the evening you can see the birds kind of flocking up into their roosting places, the white ibises and so on. This is the nicest part of the trip, I think. The part that's most enjoyable. It's 3 a.m. on Thursday. We're anchored out on Big Lostman's Bay. We slept 4 hours here. I slept the whole time, which is pretty amazing considering all the distractions. After I took out my earplugs when I woke up. There's quite a thick swarm of mosquitoes here. I was all covered up, so I was able to sleep. What's the report from the bow, Lauren?
Mosquitoes?
Yeah, they're very thick. Did you sleep okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, we've got about 5 hours, we figure, to get to the Nightmare entrance to catch the tide, so that's next on the agenda. Better get backed up before these mosquitoes suck us dry. Lauren's retrieving the anchor on Big Lostman's Bay. There's nice display of stars in the sky. You can see the Milky Way and everything. And there's some good phosphorescence in the water. As we were approaching here, we were seeing the green glowing balls in the water the size of peas. But now we've got the little tiny specks that are, pretty thick when you move a paddle in the water, in addition to the pea-sized ones. So that's some cool wildlife. The mosquitoes aren't as cool. I feel like we haven't had them on the water to this extent in the past. Lauren tries to say that we have, but I say they're heavier than we've seen on the water. But hopefully we can get away from them once we start paddling. It's 6:30 in the morning on Thursday. We're heading down Broad River Bay. The mosquitoes were pretty thick all night. Usually haven't had them this bad out on the water. We've got some nice pink clouds in the sky. The birds are on their morning commute. Oh, there's a deer fly on my finger. That's a new one. I haven't seen deer flies here. Got them. But anyway, so yeah, the birds are heading for their feeding grounds. I'm afraid we might have a contrary current in the Broad River, but probably the best time to be at the entrance would have been around midnight, but it wasn't really realistic for us to do the whole thing without sleeping. So we might have to deal with some contrary currents or something, but we should be able to go through the Nightmare around high tide. The paddling at night was beautiful with the stars, nice starry sky and phosphorescence in the water. Beautiful place. Oh, Lauren reminded me of one more update. We saw our first gator here on Broad River Bay. And I guess the other update is that Lauren made us some delicious booze for breakfast. It's actually kind of disgusting, but there's no other way to get the calories in there, so it works. But I don't know. I mean, it tastes okay. It's just like not something I really look forward to. But I guess I'll have to drink it up. All the currents against us on the Broad River. Kind of figured that would happen. But it's not as bad as a headwind. We're still able to make almost 3 miles an hour. It's 8:50 on Thursday. We're at the Broad River land campsite near the Nightmare entrance. Decided to stop in for a short break here. Yeah, we had a little contrary current on the Broad River, but it wasn't insurmountable. I think we were able to average around 3 miles an hour, so not terrible. It's 9:15 in the morning on Thursday. Just arriving at the entrance to the Nightmare. We were against the current on the Broad River, although it wasn't too strong. But it looks like, do you think there's current flowing out there, Lauren? Or can you tell?
Hard to say.
Hard to say yet. But it should be around high tide anywho. But I guess we'll just have to go for it at this point. Yeah, the water is running out a little bit. But this is when we planned to arrive. It wasn't the ideal time to arrive, but given the circumstances, it's the best we could do. Because it's good to arrive at a low tide. But like this here, you see that little, yeah, see that little thing right there? It's kind of weird. It's like a step function where it just suddenly drops the level. So it's kind of a weird one, like the little bump. It's not really there, it's like a little step. That's about the time it is now, so it should increase further yet until, I don't know, maybe 3 p.m. would be the highest high. But we'll see how she goes. What do you think of the Nightmare, Lauren?
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's like my favorite part.
It's really fun. It's like an obstacle course. This part is easy.
It's shady.
Yeah.
There's no wind. Skeeters haven't really gotten to us.
We got the current with us now.
We heard a lot of bird calls. There was a owl.
What
So
about that creature?
there's like a giant creature, possibly a dolphin, maybe a shark, but in any case, Quite a large creature to be at this close quarters here.
But it came out of the water.
And there's always a lot of bubbling and moving around down there.
And I saw a baby shark.
You don't really know what's going on down in there.
You think under here or over there?
Could be anything.
Are you ready for a car wash?
Yeah.
Alrighty, here we go.
Is that getting you clean?
Well, I have that nice sulfur fresh feeling now.
We're not quite through yet.
Oh, you gotta go
You
off?
gotta keep pulling. Water looks pretty low in here, huh, Lauren?
Yes, it does. Hope we don't get stuck.
Well, supposedly the water's rising, so.
I feel like we've been confused by this before.
I think we're still on the right track. Good thing we brought the saw. It's 11 a.m. We made it out into the open on Broad Creek. Still have to do the upper part of Broad Creek, which is pretty narrow. When was that when we came out here and we saw the giant forest fire cloud of smoke? 2016? And then another time we came through, it was after the big hurricane. Was that 2018? A lot of this dead wood's probably from the hurricane. Growing back. All the leaves were blowing off the trees then. This is Upper Broad Creek. It's also pretty narrow. It's really hot in the sun. We were out in the sun for a couple of miles and woof, super hot. It's 10 minutes to 2. We're heading up the Harney River now. Strange thing is there's like a quartering tailwind, and that's strange because we're heading east, so that means there must be like a west component to the wind, which on this trip it's always been on the nose from the south or southeast, so that seems odd. At the Harney River Chickie we passed the big group of paddlers that all grouped up. They're all sleeping but one. I think it was Gil, who said they were okay and waved us on. They must have gone all night to get here. But yeah, this is looking good so far. We're making a decent pace going up the river here. It's super hot. We just figured out we should try wetting our shirts to cool down, so gonna try that. It's just extremely hot. It's 3:20 in the afternoon. This is the turnaround where you go from going up the Harney River. You go through this, got that little bay there, and you go down the Shark River. Now we just had a little favorable incoming current here at the end on the Harney River. I don't know if it'll turn around in time for us to get some current going down the Shark River, but we'll see. We made good time going up the Harney River. So that was encouraging. After we got out of the nightmare, at the end of the nightmare there, I was kind of pretty exhausted, running on fumes, but had some spiz and we took a little break in the shade, and I'm feeling better now. We've been wetting our shirts to stay cool, so we've been able to keep it moving. Whitewater Bay could be a barrier, we'll see. That's the last 11 miles or so across that open bay to get in toward Flamingo. So if there's a terrible wind on that, that could be a problem. But we'll see, maybe it'll calm down by then. Well, it's 4:30 on Thursday. We just turned into Shark River. There was a little contrary current, so we decided to pull into this shady little nook here, get out of the sun, it's still very hot, and have a snack. So Lauren, what's the synopsis of the situation for getting to Flamingo?
I think we have about 28 miles to go. If we average kind of what we've been doing on the hot days, about 2 miles an hour, it'll take us 14 hours, but I think we can do better than that because it'll be night. Hopefully the wind lays down like it did last night.
Well, no, 2 miles an hour, that's like a hot day with a headwind.
Right. I'm just...
So, hopefully.
Yeah.
Because we kind of need to do a little better than that to make the 10 a.m. cutoff, huh?
Yeah, we gotta make the 10 a.m. cutoff so that doesn't leave a lot of time for dilly-dally.
Well, it essentially doesn't leave time to stop and sleep.
Right.
Basically. But we know we can get there because we did it with Alex that one year.
Yeah, I guess the big question is the Whitewater Bay conditions.
That's the wild card. What's Whitewater Bay going to look like?
I think it's going to lay down.
It could lay down. Sometimes it does that. Sometimes it doesn't. Like on Monday night it didn't, but often it does.
It will.
Yeah, hopefully.
And then tomorrow we're going to have great sailing breeze, and we're going to sail all the way there.
That's the spirit. Because, we deserve a break.
We haven't seen many people.
Yeah.
Except the kayakers.
On the Chicky at Harney River.
Alright. We better get going.
Cut. It's 5:52 Thursday evening, and we just got off Shark River, taking the cutoff over to Oyster Bay, and the current was a little bit against us coming down Shark River, but it wasn't too bad. We were still able to average about 3 miles an hour, and I think the wind is laying down. That's what I'm thinking. I'm optimistic that the Whitewater Bay is not going to be terrible. Fingers crossed. And that we'll be able to make the checkpoint. What do you think, Lauren?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Well, it's Thursday night about 7:10 p.m. In other years, we would have been having some key lime pie at Mrs. Mack's, but we're not there yet. So we're on Whitewater Bay, just about to head across. We should make checkpoint 3 in time. It's been a little bit since we gave our last update, since we haven't had cell service, but we can see the red tower in Key Largo off in the distance. And so
Flamingo.
In Flamingo in the distance, so we have cell service. And Mark is making dinner. We're tied up next to a buggy mangrove island while he's cooking dinner, and then we're gonna keep rolling. The slog has continued. We have sailed maybe a total of 20 miles on this trip. We're looking at headwinds, I think, again, or maybe slightly off of headwinds tomorrow on Florida Bay. It should be manageable. We're hoping to get to Key Largo tomorrow evening. So that's the word from the bow. And I'm looking forward to beef stroganoff cooked by Mark in just a couple minutes. Bye.
Well, it's 10:30 on Thursday. Just finished the Whitewater Bay crossing. We did get lucky, and it was quite calm, like almost totally calm. That could have been a real barrier if there was like a strong south or east wind, but we got a pass on that one. That's like, I don't know, 11 or 12 miles across that bay. So now we just got to do Coot Bay and the Buttonwood Canal, just several miles to get to the checkpoint here at Flamingo. That's pretty exciting to get that far. Hey Lauren. We're just coming into the Buttonwood Canal. It's 11 p.m. What is it you were saying that you saw out there?
Well, I was talking about how I saw a star. It was like a weak shining star, but it was attached by a tether to a giant pole, almost like a tether ball, but it was just kind of hovering there, and the tether was like sparkly shimmering. And then I realized it was just a star.
That's odd.
Yeah. Actually, I saw it go back and forth a little bit. I don't know what that was. That was just my head.
Yeah, I was having kind of a hard time keeping the arrow straight on the following the magenta line on the GPS. Kind of wandered back and forth quite a bit.
Yeah. It's hard to focus out there because there's nothing.
Yeah, it got
from like a line of mangroves at the end.
It got cloudy, so there wasn't any points of reference. Maybe we ought to get a little sleep at the checkpoint.
So it's Friday at around 6 a.m. and we're packing up the boat to head out to Key Largo. Forecast looks decent, except most of it is southeast winds. Looks like there could be a period of south winds in the afternoon, so if we're lucky, we'll get a chance to set up the sailing rig later in the afternoon and sail her in. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, we're on our way to Key Largo. Got a decent rest tonight in Flamingo. Doesn't look like there's a lot of people here. Couple sailboats sleeping on the saltwater side, but aside from that, pretty quiet. So we'll see Mom and Dad Fry in Key Largo later today.
My old friend, how I've missed you. The blistering headwind. Leaving Flamingo at 6:30 a.m. Friday. Forecast is, what was it, 10 from the southeast, 10 to 15. Tomorrow, small craft advisory, so better get her done today.
Get her done!
Get her done. It's 9:22 a.m. on Friday. We're taking a break at Buoy Key. It's blowing pretty hard, probably gusts in the 20s now. Kind of mostly a headwind, quartering a little bit. It's a southeast wind. But the windy app said it might get a little calmer around 10, so we're hoping that'll happen. And then maybe it'll turn more south in the afternoon, and if so, maybe we'd be able to sail some. It'd be awesome if we could sail it in at the finish. This island, it doesn't smell great. I thought that was a beach, but there's some kind of rotting vegetation there. So it blocks the wind and the sun, so it's good from that point of view. But it's not like a great place to hang out. How do you think it's going, Lauren?
We're plugging away. I think we're going to get there. We're going to get it done.
Gonna get her done. One key at a time. It's 10:53. We're at Dump Keys. These jellyfish are all over the bottom. The kind that lay upside down, and I think they've got some algae in them. So they're catching rays down there. Yeah, I think it did lay down a little bit, as said in the windy forecast. We were able to paddle that 3.5 miles from Buoy Key to Dump Key. We were doing 3 to 3.5 miles an hour without, well, I mean, we were working kind of hard, I guess. It's not totally calm, but you know, compared to the rest of the trip, if we can go 3.5 miles an hour, I'm happy, right? We'll get there. So we're gonna have a snack here. This is the spot. In 2016 we were pulled in here when we found out our nephew Jamie was born. So I guess there must be cell service here, huh? So, hey Lauren.
Yeah.
I was just kind of listing all the good things about headwinds. Like, okay, as Alex told us, keeps you cool, right, on those hot days?
Yeah.
Also keeps the mosquitoes away.
It gives us a workout.
Gives us a workout, yeah. And then you also stop in and see some of these places that you might otherwise just paddle by, because you have to take a break.
Yeah. I mean, we did come here for a challenge.
Right.
So, headwinds are our challenge. But we did a lot of training over the past few days for today, so we're ready to go today.
Yeah, we were looking at Monday, well, Saturday and Sunday as training days. Get us warmed up.
So this week we've had like 270 miles of training for today. So
Right.
that should set us
I'm ready for the cool down. It's 12:30. We just arrived at End Key. You can kind of tell your progress by the water in the mud flats. It's all brown and muddy. Then it becomes clear and green. And here the water is nice and clear. And there's lots of fishes. I don't know if you can see those, but there's a bunch of long skinny ones right there.
A starfish just swam under the stick.
And Lauren saw a starfish, and there was a small shark in here when we pulled in, chasing them around. So we're getting closer to the Keys. This is about halfway there.
Why is it called the End Key then?
I don't know. We found a little shade here. It's kind of hard to find shade in midday, but we're making progress. Still hoping we might be able to sail after we do the next 3 or 4 mile leg, 'cause then we'll turn more east. Alright, here's the second half of the route. We're at End Key. So then we gotta do the twisty mile. And then it gets a little deeper, so there's gonna be bigger waves here. That leg, 3 miles or so, is gonna be more into the wind. But from there, we got heading 84 degrees, and then through Manatee Pass, and then heading of 98 degrees for those 2 legs that are about 3 miles each. And then you're in the intercoastal waterway of Key Largo, so that's like the home stretch. And that one's heading like 64 degrees, so could definitely sail that part. But possibly could sail starting after Jimmy Channel. Possibly sail. It's 1:30 on Friday. We came to the end of the twisty mile. This is what it looks like. Some call it the gray elephants, although they're not too gray today, so I guess that's good. But we got to do a little, not quite straight into the wind leg here, but about 4 miles, and then we can turn east. I guess on the bright side, looks like the wind's coming from the south, so we should be able to sail once we get across. I guess we're going to try paddling in the direction we want to go at first. See what kind of speed we can make. If we have to tack up wind into this, we can make like 1 mile an hour. So if we can paddle faster than that, then we'll get there sooner. So we're just going to take a little break here and then give that a try. It's 2:28 on Friday. We started paddling and then we decided that the wind had gone south and it seemed like we could probably sail this leg, and if we can sail this leg, we can probably sail the rest of the way. So we took time to set up the rig here, hanging off of this marker. It took about a half an hour, a little bit fiddly doing it on the water, but it seems like we got everything together. So we're going to try sailing and hopefully sail the rest of the way, God willing. Alright, we're sailing, and it looks like we're on the track. is looking good. We're about 3/4 of the way across to Jimmy Channel. This is going okay. We're slightly to leeward of the line, but I think it's going to work out. The cut might be a little bit leeward of the line anyway, and just want to keep the boat speed enough to go through these waves. Wouldn't really want to go any closer to the wind than this, but I think this is going to work out. Would have been a slog to paddle upwind 4 miles in this. So we cleared Jimmy Channel. How do you like sailing, Lauren? Better than slogging into headwinds? Manatee Key. Here's Manatee Pass. This is our only downwind leg, and it's very short. It's 4:15 on Friday, and we're on the heading of the last 8-mile open water leg, and we're sailing. So that's very exciting. We slogged a few miles into headwinds on this trip, so it's great to finish in style. We're going 3.8 miles an hour, and I'm not paddling. It's 5:30 on Friday on the 4-mile leg from Bottle Key to the Intercoastal Waterway. We're getting a little bit of a header with the wind, so we're having to change our line to leeward a little bit, and so we might have to do a tack when we get here. I'm also wondering a little bit if we could cut through these islands, but there's some shoals indicated, so I don't totally know if that would work. 6 o'clock on Friday. We're just a few miles from the finish. We decided to roll the dice and come in through these islands here so that we could not have to tack. The gamble here is, I don't know if you can see, there's a line of trees up ahead that's some spoils. And last time we came in through here and we did slip over them, but As to whether we'll find the same spot and slide over, I don't know. It would be frustrating to, you know, be stopped at this point, but I guess we've dealt with worse.
About that too.
We gonna make it over the shoal, Lauren?
I don't know, it's about that deep.
Hmm.
That deep.
Well, that's plenty for us.
Well, that's what it is now.
Well, it went down to, I don't know, maybe 4 inches deep, but we made it. Okay, we're made over the spoils, and we've got a clear path to the final turn, to the finish there. You can see the tower behind the Pelican Hotel at the finish. So that's the final curve. We're on the victory lap here. It's been a long, strange trip. There it is, the last sunset after a week of living in the canoe and pulling into headwinds for 16 hours a day. I didn't think it was possible, but we're here.